Friends, the story begins by showing a supermarket where we see a handsome young man named Guy. He calls his wife, who is quite angry with him. Guy explains to her that the trip he just went on was not for enjoyment, but was actually a business trip. Along with that, he tries to explain many more things to his wife, but it's of no use, and she cuts the call without listening to anything. After finishing shopping, Guy goes to the counter to make the payment, and sees that the cashier is calculating the bill of a man named Tramp. When the total bill is calculated, Tramp is short of Rs10. The cashier insists on taking the remaining Rs10. And even after Tramp tries to explain, she doesn't agree. Then, Tramp asks the people standing in the line for Rs10. But no one helps him, and Guy also remains silent. Then, suddenly, an old lady takes out Rs10 from her purse and places it on the counter. Seeing this, Tramp says that the angels will surely remember her good deed. After that, Tramp takes out some money from his pocket, gives it to the cashier, and returns the old lady's money to her. Tramp places a coin near Guy and says that whenever you look at this coin, you will remember this present moment. After Tramp leaves, the cashier asks Guy for her 10 in change, and Guy picks up the same coin given by Tramp and gives it to her. While talking to his wife on the phone, Guy goes outside near his car. Then he sees Tramp sitting by the roadside. Guy goes to him and returns his coin, saying that he cannot keep something that does not belong to him. Hearing this, Tramp asks him if he is afraid of the fire of hell. He asks if Guy believes in our prophet Jesus Christ. At this, Guy says that he does not have much interest in religion. Saying this, he starts walking towards his car, but Tramp follows him and asks, "Then what do you believe in?" Guy says that he trusts reality. Tramp advises him, saying that then, after death, he will become food for worms in hell. He asks if Guy is living his life for such a punishment. Angrily, Guy says that he is a student of mathematics and science and believes in practical things more than stories and tales. Guy angrily asks Tramp, "My life has no purpose. I will become food for worms, but where is your life heading? What is your purpose?" Tramp mocks Guy and tries to explain. "Look, why are you even discussing all this with me? I believe in scientific facts and research, and do everything with proof, but there has never been any evidence regarding the existence of God. That's why I don't believe in God or divine matters." Tramp says, "Yes, now you don't believe. But earlier, you used to believe in everything with your eyes closed." Hearing this, Guy is shocked and asks him, "How do you know? We are meeting for the first time today." Tramp tells him, "I have met you before. Even if we met 400 years ago or 200 years ago, we have met before. And I know you are a wise man." Saying this, Tramp starts leaving and taunts Guy, saying, "You are a wanderer and such thoughts grow only in an empty mind. Maybe you will soon return to the right track." Hearing all this, Guy loses his temper, and angrily Tramp grabs Guy by the collar and starts fighting with him. Guy does not understand what Tramp's problem is or why he is after him. Tramp, in anger, starts crying and sits down holding his head. Seeing this, Guy regrets what he said and apologizes to him. Tramp says, "You don't know how long I have waited for this moment." This sounds very strange to Guy. Meanwhile, his wife calls again. After calming her down, Guy comes back to Tramp and says, "You are still young. This is the chance to set your future because your future is in your hands." Tramp replies with a saying, "If you want to make God laugh or happy, share your plans with him." These talks about God and religion frustrate Guy again, and he demands proof of God from Tramp. To this, Tramp says, "I once met Jesus Christ." Hearing this, Guy is shocked and starts thinking that Tramp is a madman. Tramp says, "I am a wandering Jew, and one day Jesus Christ was passing in front of my house. I asked him to rest at my house when he returned, and he said, 'Yes, wait for me.' Since then, my faith in God has grown even stronger." But for Guy, it was impossible to accept this story, so he tells Tramp, "I will soon expose your lies." And saying this, Guy gets into his car and starts leaving. But then he opens the car door again and says to Tramp, "If you are telling the truth, then give me some proof." Tramp says, "I don't have any cloth, vessel, or anything belonging to Jesus Christ. Even if I did, no one would believe it. After all, nothing remains intact for 2,000 years. Tramp's calm nature makes Guy start to believe. He asks Tramp to tell him something about God that humans don't know. Tramp says, "What should I tell you? He was human just like us, and when I met him I didn't know that one day he would become God." When Guy insists, Tramp narrates the entire incident of that day. That day, Jesus Christ was passing in front of my house with soldiers. He wanted to rest by leaning against the wall, but I didn't let him stop because he claimed to be the Son of God, and instead of believing him, people mistreated him. So I too drove him away and told him to rest on his way back. Hearing this, Guy says, I will give you money. I will. I just want the truth, even if it sounds like a lie. Guy asks, don't you feel ashamed after treating Jesus Christ like that? To this, Trum replies, I have repented for my mistake for years. I lived as a priest for 100 years, but still, no angel came to tell me whether I was forgiven or not. This makes Trum feel deeply hurt, and he even becomes angry with God. He tells Guy, over these past years, I have worked in so many professions that I don't even remember them all. I am immortal, and an immortal person can experience everything but spends his life just waiting for the final stage. Guy replies that everyone can have such experiences because life is not as short as people think. But Trum doesn't believe him and says, an ordinary human is haunted by the fear of death every moment. But I have been on this earth for 2,000 years. People tried to kill me, but look, I am still alive. However, in the beginning, Trum did try to free himself from this life. He hung upside down from a tree for 2 weeks. Even his neck bones broke. But he did not die. In 1945, the Nazis captured him and tried to shoot him, but the gun jammed. The barrel was blocked. Still, the incident left Trum badly wounded. But time healed everything. Trum continues, 40 years ago, I traveled from Poland to Russia. During all this, Trum sarcastically tells Guy, you didn't even give me 10 rupees, but I gave you. Guy quickly takes out the money and returns it, asking in surprise, do you have superpowers, or are you making up stories like other beggars? Trum says, look, if I wanted to lie, I would have told a simple story instead of saying I'm immortal and connected to Jesus Christ. I know the difference between a madman and a normal person. That's why no doctor has ever called me insane. Trum shows the scars on his body, marks formed over hundreds of years. But he doesn't know how to make the world believe he has been wandering for 2,000 years. He asks Guy for help. Guy says, why don't I kill you and prove you're not immortal? But then, fearing trouble, Guy cancels the plan. Trum says, I have wandered through many countries. I know many languages people don't even know exist. Guy asks about space, and Trum explains, there are countless galaxies and stars, yet there's no sound, as if it's just a scenery of space. Hearing his knowledge, Guy is shocked and wonders how a beggar knows all this. Trum says, I learned all this from books. My life has been about experiencing and learning new things. But death still doesn't come to me. Guy finds it hard to believe that Jesus Christ, known for forgiving the world, cursed Trum to wander the earth. Trum says, Jesus did not curse me directly. It was I who wrote this curse upon myself out of his anger, and God made it real. Maybe if I had wished for a good wife or wealth, that prayer would have been granted. But I asked for nothing and lived as an ordinary man my entire life. Guy asks if people 400 years ago thought the same way they do today. Trum says, humans have always been the same. God sits in the sky, watching and judging everyone, just like humans do. That's why they say God exists within every human. But it's also true that every human is a devil. Humans have choices. They compare themselves to others. And that's where conflicts begin. They don't know if they are on the right path or the wrong one. Guy listens to all these deep words calmly, and then his phone rings. He answers his wife's call, apologizes, and tells her he is with a man, but his wife thinks he is with a woman, so she starts coming there. When Trum asks, Guy says his wife is a strong believer in Jesus Christ. All this makes Guy realize that disproving God's existence is just as difficult as proving it. Trum explains, we should not question someone's happiness because happiness is also part of belief. Trum continues, a person's age changes, appearance changes, but feelings remain the same. Hearing about old age, Guy feels a little scared and thinks that religion was created so people could dream of another life. Guy feels that Trum is fooling him. To find the truth, Guy says, if you've been wandering for 2,000 years, you must know something special. Tell me. Trum says, I haven't done anything special. During World War II, a Polish family sheltered me because Jewish lives were in danger. Hearing this, Guy says, that time was dangerous, right? People were cruel. Trum replies, no, not really. Humans are like rivers. No matter how far they flow, their path remains the same. Humans have always been the same. Their behavior has never changed. Guy asks, can God create a stone that even he cannot lift? Trum laughs and says, that idea came from your mind, and God also gave you that mind. So if your mind wants, God will lift that stone. But Guy doesn't understand these deep thoughts and asks, what is the purpose of our life? What happens after death? Trum takes a deep breath and says, even I haven't found the answers to these questions even though I've had centuries. But if humans are God's creation, then surely there must be a purpose to their birth. God is love. If you want to enter heaven, you must choose God. At that moment, Guy's wife arrives. Guy tells her that this man has met Jesus Christ, but she doesn't believe him and thinks Guy is fooling her, so she leaves. Just then, a wandering man arrives and tells Trum, come on, We have work to do. Trum leaves with him, leaving behind many questions like, does God really exist? What is the purpose of human life? And so on. And with that, the movie ends. Friends, if you liked this movie explanation, then do like and share it. And subscribe to the channel and press the bell icon so you don't miss any future movie explanations. See you in the next video. Till then, bye-bye and take care.